Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham L. Jack. You are a professional game master. First of all, this channel is proudly sponsored by Detri Studios, the publishers and developers of Dames of Asstoria, a tabletop role-playing game where you play as monster girls experiencing high adventure in a world that doesn't fully accept them. They have recently released The Daughters of Lamb. This is a pay-what-you-want tabletop RPG where you get to play as cybernetic nuns with guns, looking for the missing pieces of their AI god. You will find it in their website. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. This channel is also proudly sponsored by the Red Room Publishing. Please check out their store for exclusive tabletop RPG products and check out their free tabletop RPG, the Red Roleplaying Game. This generic system is able to handle any sort of theme, genre, flavor, setting that you can think of. Definitely check it out. You will find it in their website among many other things. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment as well. This time I am continuing and finishing my review series featuring the Goblin Slayer TRPG. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review series featuring this fantasy tabletop role-playing game based on the popular, I guess you could say, hard-boiled series, please check out the playlist in the description below. I was thinking about that because one of my viewers told me this isn't exactly like a gritty series, it's more like hard-boiled. Could be. That's a good appraisal. This time I am going to talk about the monsters, but also I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this tabletop RPG. When it comes to the bestiary, it is very well organized with the name, the level, the type, the intelligence of each creature, the morale, the spell resistance, the movement, everything. It's very easy to get to the stat that you want to employ during a particular encounter, with the range, the defense, the dodge, the block score, the armor score, support effects. It is all here, very neatly organized. However, if you have perhaps not very good eyesight or not a very good illumination in your room, I would recommend using perhaps a magnifying glass, because the letters are a bit small in the case of the values. Although the stats are easy enough to write or reorganize in your notes, you have many types of creatures, such as the goblins with goblin archers, goblin magicians, hobgoblins, of course. You also have giants with trolls in this category, or yeti, the ogre mage. You will recognize many of them from the anime, the light novel, the manga. There are various creatures such as giant rats, killer bees, slimes, of course, a staple of JRPG type of adventures. There are also worms, giant boars, pythons, even swarms, rock eaters. You have the basilisk, the wyvern, the young red dragon. You also have spirits. With the greater spirit, the free spirit, you have the undead, with skeletons of various types, skeleton archers, skeleton guards. You have zombies, ghouls, ghosts, even giant skeletons. You have wraiths, liches, vampires. There are demons, imps, hellhounds. You also have night stalkers. You have lamias. You have stone demons. The bestiary is so extensive. You have magical creatures such as the creeping coin, which is exactly what you can imagine by such a name. The gas clouds, the dragon tooth warrior, as summoned in the anime and the manga. The bone servants, wood golems, gargoyles, bronze golems. You have villains such as the harpies, the thieves, the bushwhackers, lizardmen, cultists, enforcers, werewolves, warlocks. It is very complete. Dark elves, great villains. The only thing that perhaps could feel a bit missing is uh, epic boss monsters. You do have some boss monsters here, but at higher levels, and probably many groups won't reach that level of power. Perhaps you will look for greater challenges. In that case, I would recommend that the game master designs his own creatures using these stats as guidelines. Very good bestiary overall. And this concludes my review series of the Goblin Slayer TRPG. What do I think about it? This one is going to be one of the best tabletop RPGs you will ever own. Even if it wasn't Goblin Slayer themed, this is an incredible, amazing, awesome fantasy tabletop role-playing game. The only weakness, you could say it's two weaknesses, perhaps. Well, the first one is definitely a weakness. The roleplay explanations are pretty bad. They are not abysmal, but they are bad. And when it comes to the quality of the book, it is sturdy enough, but I wonder if it will hold together after perhaps 10 to 20 years of gaming, of constant use. I wonder. But apart from that, and don't get me wrong, it's still sturdy. I just wonder in the really long term, the long run, if it will last as long. Because unfortunately, there is no PDF. There is like this Kindle type of file that is not exactly very user friendly. But overall, you have a system with a very fun and customizable character creation and development process. The bestiary is so complete, as you have seen. You have a game system that is nuanced, deep enough, but not complicated. And if you like the Goblin Slayer, that could also be a weakness. The theme, the general theme is right there, but the stronger elements or more spicy elements of the Goblin Slayer manga and anime, they do not feel, they're not really felt here. Like, as I mentioned in a previous video, perhaps adding some sort of sanity system. You know how some characters sometimes freak out when the goblins start to do all sorts of pretty nightmarish things, pretty questionable things. But again, I guess the goblins will do what goblins usually do, right? Like they're a bit of what makes a goblin in this setting. But apart from that, this is a great tabletop RPG. Although I do consider that perhaps it's because it uses the Sword World, one of the editions of the Sword World system. Because like I said, although you have the species, the character archetypes, the spells, the monsters, apart from that, some rules to represent the horrifying, soul-scarring things that an adventurer could see during his or her troubles, I think that is a bit missing. Still, as I understand it, there is an expansion that is already out in Japan. Could be wrong, or it's about to come out. I hope they bring it to the West, because it adds more species, some archetypes I think, but definitely I still keep thinking some sanity rules for the Goblin Slayer TRPG. Some of the characters, they get paralyzed, they get like, no, you know, when they are shocked by the horrible things that they witness. But, like, final opinion, one of the best fantasy tabletop RPGs out there, even if you're not a fan of the series. Definitely get it. I would consider this a must-have. Thank you for watching these review series, review videos of the series. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the Super Thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description and in the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master, and remember, in tabletop role-playing games, It's not about what you want your characters to do. It's about what your characters are doing. Once again, thank you and see you later.